1, 2, X is coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, get your crucifix. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing today, tonight, whenever you're. Yep, this is again the Unexpected Wonder, and this video is the 6th edition to my top 5 series. Now, I like to say, I hope y'all had a beautiful day, and if you're living in the States, or anywhere in the world where you recognize what day this was during, this third Monday where we celebrate, remember, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and what he stood for. It wasn't just him. There was a great multitude of martyrs and those who stood up against injustice, inequality, and a bunch of other stuff. Stood up for peace and morality, truth. What he stood for. He was a voice. He was a face. Recognized, and his words will live on forever. And I just had to take that time out and say that on this special day. With that being said, I guess I ain't gonna make a promises like I did in the last video. I made a big mistake in my timing, but like I said, this one probably will be shorter though. Alright, this is the top 5 reasons why adolescence sucks. So you can tell it's a little bit lighter, but like I said, this is still, very applicable. Number 5. Growing pains. Now, if you were anything like I was, your body, I know this is a common adolescent thing, but some were blessed to be more evenly, more evenly distributed in their body mass, body proportion, whatever you want to call it, whatever the right terminology is. I'm not quite certain. I happen to be not one of those people. Okay. Growing pains. Growing spurts came with growing pains. The joints hurt. I'm talking your knees, usually. Sometimes the back. I know that's not really, but I'm talking the lower back. The elbows, the shoulders eventually, something, the ankle. And it made playing sports sometimes a little bit hellish. Number 4, hormones. Now, when you hit the adolescence, especially once you hit about your 14th year, your 13th year and below, depends on when you hit, but especially 14th year, I don't care if you male or female, it's hard and it can be hell. Them hormones hit, it's adult stuff. You're beginning becoming an adult, and you're trying to mature, and you feel these things you never felt before. You're dealing with situations you never dealt before. You sometimes deal with problems you never dealt before, and you start viewing the world differently. And sometimes the hormones cloud your judgment, and you wonder why young folks make mistakes. Sometimes they're just acting on somewhat of instinct. Even though you do have control, you got to learn how to control it. That's one of the beauties about becoming an adult, becoming mature. You got to learn how to control those hormones. But I ain't making excuses. But if you've ever dealt with teenagers, you are a teenager, you know teenagers, you remember being one, you know them hormones can kick, and they kick hard. They kick up passions, for good or not so good. Number 3. Rejection. Now, rejection is just a part of life. It is. But combined with the hormones that can be frustrating, it can be confusing, you gotta learn how to deal with people, how to talk to people. And I believe it'd be a hard find to find a teenager, an adolescent, who's not at least a tad bit afraid of a rejection. I mean, we want, I've said before, not in the video, but just sometimes, several times, that two things really that a teenager wants is love, number one, and acceptance, number two. I mean, peace could probably be a close third, but some kind of have it. So, love and acceptance. I guess if you have those two, you're gonna have peace, and you're gonna have a lot of other stuff. Love and acceptance.
Daniel.
Yes.
What time the park closes?
What, the Key Largo Park? Oh, down there. 9:30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm sure I can imagine how many pounds you would put on. I can imagine how many calories.
Life, y'all. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Life. But like I was saying, rejection sucks. And it hurts even more when you're not quite aware of who you are yet. You're not totally confident. You haven't had that experience behind you to take them punches, getting back up several times, to take them hits. So yeah, rejection, definitely. Number two. Well, how would you describe number two? Being misunderstood, I would say. Now, some may say, my list might be a little bit off. They could throw in their own things, which is cool, which is y'all very much able to. Y'all can make video response, y'all can make comments. If I've left off, if I didn't explain it properly. But being misunderstood, I think that just says a whole lot. I don't really have to go into it, but I will dig a little bit, which is my nature and which I love to do in these videos, because sometimes people just don't seem to understand for some reason, even the obvious of what to say. But I ain't trying to go on in the rant and that jazz. Being misunderstood. As if being a teenager, being an adolescent ain't hard enough. Now, I should probably clarify. Adolescence can go, it starts with puberty and ends with or near about 21. So it can go from about 11 to 21. There's some ad, but that's usually what the psychologists say or something like that jazz anyway. But yeah, man, just being misunderstood. Folks not understanding where you're coming from. Sometimes you didn't even understand where yourself, and that leads to part of the problem. Been there, done that jazz. And so many, trying to understand ourselves, trying to understand the world around us, trying to understand our place in the world. Some don't get that far till a little bit later, but a lot of us are feeling it. Like I said, you're starting to deal with the adult world. You're starting to realize things. And number one. It has got to be. Man, and I hate when I have something and it just slips my mind. So please hold 1 second. Number one thing that adolescence sucks. Yeah. Came back to me like the light bulb just clicked again. Number one reason why adolescence sucks. I'll just put it like this, because I don't know the proper word for it. Oh, here it is. Expectations. Mind you, 3 Days Grace did a beautiful song about expectations. A little bit on the darker side, but on their Transit of Venus, their latest album, the fourth album. And the chorus hits the nail in the coffin. Expectation. Yeah, I know. I ain't even gonna go there. Just look up the song. You'll get what I'm vibing with. Expectations, man. We're expected to. There's often teenagers often adolescents are expected to act with an adult manner, yet are often treated as a child. Now, actions and everything, I get that. And I get you're not a full adult, I get that. But if you're going to be required to act a certain way, shouldn't the level of freedom and responsibility be equal? Really, just think about that. And that's all I'm going to need to say. Just leave you with that one. If you're going to be expected to act a certain way, the level of responsibility and freedom should be equal. Period. There don't need to really be any discussion. Now, like I said, if you disagree with anything I say, you feel I left some important factors off, just leave a video response and some comments. Like the video if you like it. I'm all for the freedom, baby. And like I said, this thing ran a little bit longer, partly because I got interrupted, which helped throw my train of thought in. And like I say, hope y'all have a beautiful Monday, Tuesday, or whenever the heck y'all actually watch this video. Peace out, y'all.